bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Is our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, it's Wednesdays with Mitch. We got Chris Ruffolo with us. Big Al McMordie. Dana Lang will sign in bottom of the hour. We got Wayne Scott and Ron Zawacky, and here's how they'll line up for this evening. We've got Ruffolo, Mitch, McMordie, Scott, Zawacky, Lang, and then I will close this one out. All right, baseball in progress now. Of course, two big games in the NBA, plus hockey as well, a handful from Major League Baseball. Let's get this one underway. Let's welcome in Chris Ruffolo to the show. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Hope you catch him every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Time with that morning show. Chris back from his cruise, ready to roll here this week. We'll bring him in right now. I think ready to roll here with Chris. Chris, what's happening? How's the land feeling?
A lot more stable, a lot less shaky. I can't complain. How are you doing, Tony?
Doing great. No seasickness at all? Do you have to take those Dramamines?
No, you know what? I took it with me, and I didn't. I felt it for like the first day, and then after that, I was all right. It just the mattress kind of felt like one of those ones, the coin operated ones in the motel. The problem is I didn't have to pay any quarters, so I was good after that. I was fine.
That was good, yeah, because those will make you sleepy. They'll make you drowsy. I learned that the hard way one time. All right, here we go tonight, Chris. Major League Baseball, competitive one here between the Rays and Orioles. Rays are favored minus 108, total 9.5.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was a little bit surprised that the Rays were a decent sized, I should say, in a coin flip like this, because Dean Kramer, while he was a nice story in 2022, went from 2021 where he was 0-7 with a 7.55 ERA and basically cut that ERA in more than half, and then finished with 8 wins last year. He's looked more like 2021 Kramer this time around. Yeah, he has a 3-1 record, but a 5.80 ERA. He's given up 4+ runs in 5 of his 7 starts this season, and the numbers for Dean Kramer aren't that inspiring. He's in the bottom 23rd percentile in hard hit percentage and barrel rate. He's given up a ton of hard contact, also in the bottom 23rd percentile in strikeout percentage. So he's not striking guys out, and that's not good against a Tampa Bay Rays team that is still clubbing left-handed pitching like they have been all season long. If you're taking the season numbers, Tampa Bay still tops in isolated power and team OPS against right-handed pitching. If you're going just the last 2 weeks, they're still top 10 in both of those metrics as well. I just think this is a bad spot for Dean Kramer. I think we'll get value with the Orioles down the road, and the run for the Rays can't last forever. But I'm going to stick with the Tampa Bay Rays to win this one on Wednesday.
All right, Chris says go with the Rays here. Yeah, I was with you here too. I was kind of scratching my head seeing that fact that it's Kramer against pretty much a bullpen game here for the Rays. Looks like Chronos will probably be the primary starter today. We'll see an opener here, but for the moment, Chronos has put up some pretty good numbers this year.
No, he definitely has. And the thing you can say about Tampa Bay's bullpen is that it's not what let's be real, it's not what it was when, they were first implementing the opener strategy a few years ago. And, they just, the bullpen was dominant. But it's still a pretty good pitching staff that has just a bunch of guys, doesn't necessarily have an ace level pitcher outside of Shane McClanahan, or at least a solid number 2. But it's just a bunch of pitchers that just do their job very well, like a bunch of above average pitchers. They got a solid bullpen. I think Baltimore has the better bullpen, but I think there's just not that much of a difference for me here to justify passing up on the Rays here at a coin flip price, especially with the advantage at the plate.
All right, Chris here will be on the Rays minus 113 here against the Orioles. This one will have a start time here, 6:35 Eastern Time. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. Of course, we do have great results from Chris here in the NHL. 1,070 units of profit NHL. There's all documented over at Pick Dogs Premium. 2 on the ice tonight, 2 from the hardwood. Handful of games here in Major League Baseball in the primetime hour. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
So I'm back on the board tonight with my $19 MLB pickoff play. I also got a 3-pack, my hoops and hockey 3-pack, 2 NBA best bets, and an NHL play as well for $39.95. Or great time to hop on long term. You get bonus plays as well. Had one from MLB today. It's the best bang for your buck for sure.
That's right, guys. Got it board with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick.com. Great results here in the NHL, as you see there. Also showing great profit the last 30 days, the last 24 hours as well. Long-term pass is the way to go. Remember that promo code PICK at checkout, and you will save 15% off. All right, Chris, as always, great having you show. Continue that success, and we'll catch up with you again next week. But, of course, we always want to catch you here every day at 10 a.m. each time with that morning show. And, of course, during the playoffs, and, of course, throughout the entire NHL season, it was the Puck Dogs video series with you and Rod.
Yeah, Rod and I are doing the videos every day, and today we're trying something new. We're going to do a live watch along of the Leafs Game 4 at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you have
Poor
notifications turned
Chris.
on so you can watch us Leafs fans suffer for a couple of hours. We're gonna have live commentaries to talk about the game, but I wanted to, we've talked about the games long enough. Now you guys get to see what I go through for a full 3 hours
Oh,
watching
wow.
this team.
Wow. And a closeout situation there. Oh, my goodness, Chris. Wow.
You know what, Tony, I was prepared. I said to myself, I'm going to throw myself to the wolves here. I understand what I'm doing to myself here, but again, I don't mind. It's what I've done for the last 31 years of my life. So what's one more game?
That's one more game. And it's a little different now. Right now, you're out down 0-3. You kind of expect it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised anymore. It's like I always say. I always write to the Leafs telling me for them to be at my funeral so they can let me down one last time.
There you go. All right, Chris, here on the Drive Thru. Chris, let's catch up with you next week.
Sounds good, Tony. Thanks.
Chris Ruffolo here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue on here on our coverage, guys. It's Wednesday, so it's time to bring in Mitch. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, we'll bring Mitch in right now. Catch him every day here at 10 a.m. Eastern with that morning show. Mitch, how's it going?
It's going okay. How about you, Tony?
Doing great. All right, here we go. Boy, this Heat team really turned it on at the right time. They're on the road looking for the closeout against the Knicks. We're seeing the Knicks now at minus 3.5. While the juice here is on the Heat taking the points. The total sits at 8.5.
Yeah, I just love the Miami Heat tonight in this one. I think the Knicks are just done, and they have quit out on the court in this series. I think they're going to come out a little hot in this game, and I do believe that you will see that adrenaline early. But adrenaline isn't going to get it done against Jimmy Buckets because he is an unstoppable force against this Knicks team. And this reminds me a lot of this Knicks team that we saw against the Atlanta Hawks just 2 years ago in the playoffs that was heavily favored in that series and just could not get it done. And in fact, as soon as the Hawks started to really prove that they were the better team, it was like the floodgates opening up that every time Trae Young got the ball, it was the parting of the Red Sea for a layup. In this case, it's just Jimmy Buckets dominating on both sides of the court. And, you can talk the talk and you can try and be that leader on the sidelines and that leader in the locker room and any of that stuff, but nothing really gets your teammates to buy into it more than doing it out on the court, and Jimmy Buckets has done that. He also has one of the top coaches in the history of the NBA. I mean, we have a coach here in Miami who, there have been coaches that have had great players on their teams. We've seen it a million times in many, many different sports. Look at the Los Angeles Angels, right? I mean, look at some of these other teams full of superstars. But he had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and others on his team, and he got the job done. You don't see it every single time, and even when he didn't get the job thoroughly done, he still made it all the way to the finals, and he got beat by good teams. It wasn't like, he lost to lousy teams. He lost to teams that were very, very good, all-time teams. And the thing is that in all-time great players who just simply wanted it, The thing is about this Knicks team is they just don't want it. They don't want it. Randall looks done. He's become, instead of a physical, imposing force, he's become a jump shooting 3-point artist. And Jalen Brunson, who, in Dallas got to help the Mavs get all the way to the Western Conference Finals last year, he looks content to walk as well. He got his money, and I think he's ready to spend it in the Maldives next week. I don't like the way this Knicks team has been playing. I love the way the Heat's been playing, and I think the fact that the line is only at 3.5 in this game is just really, really, just even more obvious that the Knicks are just such a public square play here. They really want it. They don't want to get eliminated. The NBA doesn't want it to end here because they want the Knicks, the number one TV market, in another game or whatever. Well, maybe they will get the Knicks for another game, but they ain't going to beat the Heat by more than a last-second hold-on-for-dear-life situation, not them hitting a last-second bucket, maybe the Heat missing a last-second one. That's the only chance the Knicks even have of hitting the money line in this game. I think they are a dead duck like the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to take the Heat here. I'm taking them on the money line.
All right, Mitch says even money line here, but for the show purposes, take the plus 3.5. Yeah, this Knicks team, they didn't shoot the ball very well in that Cleveland series. They were near the bottom of the 16 teams, and here they are sitting near the bottom here in this conference semifinals. Also, the Heat, surprisingly, the shooting numbers haven't been there, but the clutch has been there for the Heat.
Yeah, the Heat have just, they've really come together as a team, and I think the great teams of all time, when you see these type of teams, and I don't know, you can consider this Heat team a great team of all time, but they had the best record in the Eastern Conference last year. They were in the NBA Finals 3 years ago in the bubble against the Lakers. This could be a rematch of that. Actually, what was it, 2 years ago or was it 3 years ago? Yeah, because it went Warriors, Bucks, and the Lakers won it the year before. It was that year that they played the Lakers. But, in that game, in that series, the Heat had a lot of players that were injured. The Heat right now have a lot of players that are injured, and they're playing right through it. Victor Oladipo looked to be one of the better role players out there, in kind of how Bill Walton was a role player on the Celtics type thing. That's how good he looked. And, of course, Harrow, once he gets back, he's a key piece here. But other guys just stepping it up, next man up. And I think right now, Miami, one of the most non-sports towns in the world, of having, some of the all-time great teams, and they're they've had some of the all-time greatest teams across the board. The 72 Dolphins, they've had the Hurricanes with two of the longest winning streaks in the history of college football. They've had, the Heat winning championships, the Panthers making it to the Stanley Cup Finals back in the day of the Year of the Rat. But you've got the Heat and the Panthers right now that are just absolutely on fire. And, of course, then you got Miami Hurricane Lonnie Walker teaching the Warriors how to play basketball in the fourth quarter of an NBA playoff game. So it's kind of all coming together for, like I said, my town, but certainly not one of the best sports towns in the world.
Yeah, Dragon Slayers slagging down the Bucks and the Bruins. Dragon Slayers there in Miami. So Mitch here on the Heat plus 3.5. Like we do here on Mitch on Wednesday, we just like to pick his brain here on some of these baseball teams. Of course, Rockies continue their run here on the road, get the win against the Pirates team. They got. The schedule was tough, having to face obviously the Blue Jays and getting the Rays in there, and then here come the Rockies, and it looks like they win it. The Rockies get the series.
The Rockies get the series, and the Pirates dropped to 1-9 in their last 10 games here. So the one win was against the Rockies in this series, the 2-0 win that they got. Outside of that, it was the Rockies getting it done. But what we're seeing from the Rockies, and this is something, from a betting perspective, something to watch out, especially these teams that don't score a lot of runs or going through some hitting slumps and scoring slumps. And this was something we talked about in last year, and we actually, helped us out and cashed some bets. You can't steal bases on the Colorado Rockies. Even with the new rules, the new bases, and all that stuff, 16 caught stealings. It's only May the 9th or May 10th. 16 caught stealings. It's more than like half of the rest of baseball combined. It's uncanny. It's like they know they're going, It's like how tipping pitches. I don't know. Runners are like stealing against these guys. You cannot steal bases on the Colorado Rockies. It's not Yachty behind the plate either.
Yeah. The Rockies there with the win 4-3. Athletics and Yankees again. Just Yankees run on, Yankees run. Don't even think about it. They cover the run line again. A 4-run discrepancy between the bullpens, Athletics and Yankees. We always talk about starters going 5. Again, Yankees get to these just pound this Athletics bullpen. 11-3 Yankees with a big win.
Well, I'm not gonna repeat what Winston Wolfe said in Pulp Fiction when they thought they were kind of out of their woods in that situation. But what I am gonna say is that let's just not get too excited about the New York Yankees and the problems that they have with Clark Schmidt and their starting rotation and some of these other all-stars, and the way Nestor Cortez has been pitching. The A's are minus 142 run differential this season. So I know the Yankees helped them get to that number, but at the same time, 142. Let's just take another team, for example. The Royals are minus 61. I mean, that's how bad the A's are. Minus 147. The Royals at minus 61 is the second worst team in all of baseball. And then after those guys, it's the Marlins at minus 55.
Yep, Yankees with the big win here. They're getting the Rays tomorrow. Keep an eye there. Tigers duty, Guardians. What's up with this Guardians team? This was a team people loved. They were great against the division this year. They lose 5-0, continue to struggle getting runs across the board.
I think that this is kind of, it's not just about the Guardians, but it's also about the Tigers. Last year, the Tigers were a team that a lot of people thought were going to take that big step forward, and they actually disappointed a lot of people last season. This year, they have a great manager, and so the Tigers are getting wins, that managers kind of get done for you. You're up against Peyton Battenfield. It's not going to, it's not like you're facing Bieber every single day. You might not beat Bieber, but you're going to beat Peyton Battenfield if you play the way the Tigers have been playing, which is super aggressive at the plate. They're swinging away.
And McKenzie out hurt still, so we'll see when he's able to come back. Tigers get the victory. Dodgers, the Dodgers got the bats out tonight with home runs galore. Who said Dodgers can't hit lefties, right? 8-1 pound the Brewers.
Yeah, I was really surprised by this score, actually. I didn't have a premium pick or anything like that, but I really thought the Brewers would hold on. And, of course, I every time, it's a running joke on our morning live show, every time I bashed Clayton Kershaw and said that he should have packed it in. Last year, he pitched the no-hitter when I said that, and then this year, today, here it is, a one-run type game for him. So I think Kershaw is just hoping I continue to bash him on the morning show.
All right, then, of course, Marlins D-backs in progress. Marlins pushed across one here. This was a 4-4 tie for some time. Bottom ninth, D-backs batting with 2 outs up. The Marlins up 5-4, looking to close it out.
Yeah, the Marlins are just, they have this pitching staff that's just off the chain. And I think you have to just trust them because they clearly know more about pitching than any of us. Today was Edward Cabrera's turn, and he didn't pitch badly. Cabrera is a guy that they're really, really high on in the Marlins organization, and he's had some control problems, but he actually has really good high-end stuff, and he's so young that it's just a matter of time before he develops. A lot of people thought the Marlins were nuts when they traded, for Jesus Luzardo, when other people were willing to give them what they perceived as more for Marte. Apparently the Marlins really knew what they were doing because these guys evaluate pitching talent like no one's business. They say, hey, what pitcher do you want? Take anyone you want on our roster. Oh, you want Pablo Lopez? No problem. We'll take a rise for him. It's like these guys clearly know what they're doing.
It's final. It's final. Puke strikes out the D-back. So 5-4 is now final here. Marlins get the victory here against Arizona. Rangers.
The Marlins are ahead of the Mets in the standings here.
Yeah, they are indeed. Rangers and Mariners went final about 5 minutes ago. I think the story here is maybe the resurgence of Dane Dunning. Now, this was a pitcher who could not pitch. Horrible road for him. Great at home. Horrible on the road. That's why he landed in the bullpen for the Rangers. And he gets a spot start against the Angels. Pitches well. Gives up no runs in 5 innings. Today, they give him another start here against the Mariners. Gives another quality start. Gives up 2 runs in 6 innings. So maybe Dunning on the way back here. Maybe to the rotation. He was a really great pitcher at home. But was so horrible on the road.
Yeah, Dunning has, in each of his seasons, he has kind of started very, very strong, and then he's tailed off over the course of the season. This year, they started him in the bullpen and now moved him into the starting rotation, and he's actually pitching really well. He was a first-round draft choice and comes out of another organization, as far as drafting goes, that really knows what they're doing with young pitchers and young players altogether. That's the Washington Nationals took him in the first round. He was involved in the Lucas Giolito trade. The White Sox got for Adam Eaton, Lucas Giolito, and Dane Dunning from the Nationals. They also got 4 other players, too, on top of those 2 guys. And then they traded Dane Dunning to the Rangers straight up for Lance Lynn. So, that's how Dunning ends up in Texas. And he's not bad, but he's still really, really young. Yeah. I mean, he's really young. So he has a chance to be decent. And I think in this Texas Rangers rotation, when DeGrom comes back and pushes everybody down a notch, he settles in. He's a real good 4 or 5.
Yeah, as long as he can.
He's not like a George Kirby 5, but he's a good 5.
Yeah, as long as he can figure it out on the road, which he has done in these 2 spot starts here. So Rangers with the victory here against the Mariners.
Of course, Mariners also. I think in this game, we also have to say Castillo not the pitcher he was last season either.
No, for the 9 strikeouts. Even the Mariners mixed around their lineup a little bit. They've had struggles hitting right now, and last year they got away with it. This year they're having their struggles here, getting run support for Castillo. 4-3, the Rangers with the win here, and of course Nationals here. Boy, I mean, this was the line I was scratching my. Josiah Gray with a good start to the season, keeping his home runs down, keeping his walks down, the ERA's down. Manea has been a mess. We know the Nationals have been pounding lefties, and what do? They pound the Giants.
This was my top play of the day. My $19 big play of the day was the Washington Nationals. I personally played it reverse run line. I thought it was about as easy as it gets. Josiah Gray is like 185-1 in day games, that he starts, and he has his ERA in day games drops from career 4.5 ERA, and his ERA in day games is 0.86 or something. I mean, he is the day game specialist. And, once again, you have to look at some of these trades that the Nationals have made and building this team and everything. Josiah Gray for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, right? It was the trade. The Dodgers don't have either of those guys anymore. They got him. They got what they wanted out of him and all that kind of stuff. But the Nationals, once again, they had players that everybody wanted, and they could have had whatever they wanted, and that's what they took. And just like Mackenzie Gore, that was a good move. Goes on Friday. Sosa, who everybody wanted. Soto, right?
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto. Everybody wanted him. They could have had whatever they wanted. Once again, young pitcher. It's not like getting Austin Gomber for Nolan Arenado or Luke Weaver for Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, these are actually guys that actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's right. All right, who was that? A pitcher that the Blue Jays got from the Dodgers? They used to keep getting the Dodgers guys, and they keep flaming out. Ryu, Stripling, and they got another one. They gave up two great prospects for the pitcher last year. Oh, I forgot the guy. Now name just escapes me. I think he's just coming off the injured list. All right, I did with Mitch here. Blue Jays here, top of the ninth, trying to hold on to that 1-0 lead against the Phillies.
I'm surprised to see the Blue Jays in the lead in this game. I think, this is typical Zach Wheeler baseball, though, and what we've seen from him throughout his career, where he pitches the gem and he gets the gem pitched on him. And I think that's what we see here in this one. I'm surprised to see the Blue Jays in the lead in this game, but I think the Blue Jays are just a better team than I give them credit for. I just like bagging on them because Ruffolo's on my morning show, so I don't have it makes it more fun for me, but they're actually a pretty good team.
Well, Manoah was on the mound today, so maybe that helped him a little bit too as well. No, Manoah on the hill. Astros and Angels top of the ninth, 5-2 Houston.
The Astros are a better team than people give them credit for, and I gotta say, even though Hunter Brown wasn't at his best the other day, they have Sears, who appears to be another star in the making, or France, I'm sorry, JP France, another youngster that's in the rotation here now for the Astros, guy who's really, really good. And, they still don't have Lance McCullers Jr. or Jose Altuve. So these are two key players for the Astros that they're missing. They were like the same way last year, so all they got to do is hang around. If they can hang around, they're going to be fine. And Christian Javier is a guy that we know can be a killer out there when he's on top of his game. We just haven't seen his best stuff this season. The Astros are going to be a little bumpy, until Altuve gets back in there.
All right, there we go from Mitch. We got all the games run down from Mitch here for the games that have concluded. Mitch, I want everybody to know what's happening over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place.
Well, Sports Chat Place, the long-awaited redesign is ready to go. We will see it on Monday, I believe, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I think this redesign is different than all the other redesigns I've ever done. I've been doing this a long time, so I've had redesigns, and people always talk about their great redesigns and all that other stuff. But this redesign really is unbelievable. And I think you guys are going to like it because I think it integrates a lot of the great features at Sports Chat Place that a lot of people might not even know exist. Some of the things that I talk about on some of my videos, like the betting tools, will integrate into the articles. So when we talk about Steph Curry and what he's doing and the matchup that he has for this game, you'll be able to see all of the prop bets that are available for Steph Curry right in that same, while you're reading that same article. That's just an example of the type of things that you'll see there. I have all sorts of other things going on, and I have all sorts of offers on the table from all sorts of other organizations. I'm kind of just sitting back and evaluating them all. It's kind of just where I'm at with things. I'm not really in a rush to do any of them. I kind of am happy with what we're doing. I'm enjoying doing my new series with Micah and Dave, and I recorded a new one with them on Monday. I'm still working on editing it because it ran long because these guys had some pretty good stories. I tried to pull some stories out of them, and they have them, and they're pretty excited. And I think they're starting to loosen up and getting used to being on video, and that really helps.
That helps a lot.
We found out that while Dave is, I think Dave enjoyed this. That while he's, anything but a betting square, he is a YouTube square. He doesn't even know how to share a video. So.
Oh wow! All right.
So he's a YouTube square.
Nice. All
and
right.
Micah, I guess Micah really sweats out the games.
Very good. All right, Mitch, it's always great having you on the show. Continue the success. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks, everybody, for making our community #1. We appreciate each and every one of you. We passed over 80 million views over the past week. And while it's certainly not a goal, well, it just shows that at least we're putting something out there that people are watching and enjoying. So thank you guys for making it all possible. I mean, they always say if you love your job, you never have to work a day in your life. And I work with a bunch of people that never work. So, man, this is the best. We're just having fun with it. We have some new shows coming out in the afternoon also that are going to precede this show. So Tony will have kind of some lead-ins here instead of him just running on his own the way he's has done and done admirably for over a year now or 2 years or something like that. Mike Davis will be doing an afternoon show as well, and that will lead in as well as Jay's NBA afternoon jam session, which is just, Jay's, sometimes you bring a new guy in, and Al McMordie will tell you the same thing. You bring a new guy in, you're not really sure what you're going to get, but you're hopeful for the best. Other guys, you bring them in, and you're like, oh, man, what the heck did I just do? But you get a guy like Jay Briggs, and you're just like, man, then you're just like, why don't I bring in more guys like this?
Absolutely. All right, Mitch, have a great week. We'll catch up next week.
All right, take care.
Got Mitch here on the drive through. All right, guys, let's continue on here. Time for Big Al McMordie. You'll catch him over at Pick Dog Brim. We'll bring in Al right now with some baseball coverage. Ready to roll with Big Al McMordie. Big Al, how's it going?
Pretty good. Just in time as the game first pitches in 5 minutes. So.
All right. Oh, that's right. We got to get this one in here. Mets and Reds.
Yeah. New York comes into this game on a 3-game losing streak. They've lost 12 out of their last 15 games. And part of New York's problem so far this season is that their 2 frontline pitchers, Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, they've only pitched in 6 of New York's 36 games. Verlander did make his debut 6 days ago. He was a hard luck loser. He gave up, 2 solo home runs in the first inning. Threw 4 scoreless innings after that, but they lost 2-0 to the Tigers that night. I do like Verlander in this matchup against Hunter Green here, as Verlander's 20-4 in his last 24 decisions. Hunter Green is 5-15 in his last 20 decisions. And when installed as an underdog, Green's team, they've gone 5-20 in his 25 starts as an underdog. So that doesn't bode well for Cincinnati here. The Mets, off 3 losses, they've been pretty consistent, 23-10 plus 11.9 net games. And interestingly, Cincinnati is the only team that Verlander has not had a win against in his Hall of Fame career. There have been 20 pitchers in Major League Baseball history that have notched wins against every team in the league. And I think Verlander is going to become number 21 tonight, and we're going to take the New York Mets minus $1. You should see it between $1.48 and $1.54.
Yeah, do your shopping. There are some discrepancy in the lines. Just do your shopping, get the best number possible, as we always talked about here. Of course, this Mets team, they've had some ups and downs here. Down right now, just averaging 3 runs a game. Hunter Green is someone in the past that has had some issues with his control, and of course, giving up the home run ball, but seems to be improving a bit this year.
He is. I mean, his velocity is good. I think he's a good young pitcher. It's just, going to take him a little bit here, but I just don't like the spot. Interestingly, the Mets last year were the best team in baseball off losses, and then this year, they just they've been terrible in that category. But I do like the matchup tonight.
And of course, Hunter Green at home, though, an ERA of 6, so he's got his job done well on the road, only averaging 4 innings a start this year at home. So Big Al here, Mets minus 148 here against the Reds. This one to start in just a few minutes. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Spin for tonight's action. Of course, we got still baseball on the board, exciting NBA as well, NHL on the ice. Good results in NBA for this year. What do you have going on over at Pick Dog Premium?
Well, I've got a triple pack in the NBA for tonight, mixture of sides and totals. Same thing also on Thursday. I've got 3 plays all wrapped up in a triple pack for Thursday, mix of sides and totals. And in the NBA now, I think here at Pick Dog, 6-0-1 my last 7, so don't miss each of those 2 triple packs, both very strong. And then I've got 2 plays on the ice tonight, and then 1 play in Major League Baseball, and then I've already posted some football for the weekend. I've got my XFL game of the year and the championship game. Then I've got a USFL play as well.
That's right, guys. Got on board with Big Guy McMordie over at Pick Dog. Good results in NBA this year. Instead of buying all the plays individually, you could also go longer term, 3, 7, or 30-day All Sports Pass. Get that 1 month All Sports Pass, all of Al's premium plays here from the NBA, NHL playoffs, baseball as well, and of course possibly some Triple Crown races in there if he likes the race. So get on board with Big Al. Pick is the promo code. Save 15%. Now that Preakness can be kind of chalky sometimes.
I've hit the Preakness the last 3 years in a row. I've always found that to be the easiest of the 3 Triple Crown races. So, knock on wood. I had in the Derby, I had Angel of Empire, and he missed it by a half length. We had him to win in place, and he showed, so that kind of sucked. But, we'll bounce back. We'll get the Preakness.
All right, indeed. All right, Big Al. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Tony.
You got a Big Eye McMordie here on the Drive Thru. Guys, if you miss a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Let's continue on. Next up, we've got our man Wayne Scott. You'll catch him over at Pick Dodge Prim. Wayne is going to talk some NBA with us tonight as we're going to look at the game 2 of this doubleheader. Exciting doubleheader here between these Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. Let's bring in Wayne in right now. I think we're ready to roll here with Wayne Scott. He's set to go. Wayne, how's everything going tonight?
What's going on, Pick Dog family?
Everything's going great here, Wayne. I know we're looking forward here to this NBA game tonight. Of course, we have a couple of closeouts tonight in the NBA, and one of the closeout games we're going to be covering here is going to involve this Warriors and Lakers game tonight. As we speak, these lines are live here from the sharpest book in the world. Lakers and Warriors. Warriors the favorite here, 7.5, total 225. Well, we got you, Wayne. Just so happens, maybe we might have lost Wayne. Let's see if we can get in touch with him. I guess he's frozen, or maybe we'll have to get back to Wayne. So we'll get back to Wayne. We got his pick in case we have to get back to Wayne. We'll get back to him in a second. Hopefully improve his connection. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's get to Rod Zawacky. You'll catch him over at Pick Dodge Room. Catch him in the mornings here. Every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We'll bring him in right now. Rod Zawacky. I think we're ready to roll here with Rod. Some NHL coverage from Rod Zawacky. Let's see if we're ready to roll here with Wayne. I think we got Wayne. Oh, sorry. With Rod Zawacky. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much. Enjoying the Wednesday. We got a nice doubleheader hockey action, so let's try to get a nice winner.
Let's get a nice winner indeed. Here we go tonight on the ice. We have Maple Leafs and Panthers here. The Leafs on the road looking to survive here, laying $1.11, total 6.5.
Yeah, the Leafs are definitely on the ropes in this one. You just think 10 days ago the Leafs were like, ooh, we beat the curse, we got out of the first round, and now they're behind the 8 ball, down 0-3. And if you look over the past probably about five playoff seasons, you'd be surprised how many times this 0-3 pops up. It's happened in 15 series. And in 4 of those series, a team's come back and won this game 4 and sent it to game 5. None of the teams in the last 5 years have come back down 0-3 in these craziness. Tough spot here for the Leafs, but for me, you know what? You look at this Leafs team and always disappointing, but their fans definitely diehard fans right in there, even after all this losing from. How much losing have the Leafs done? Well, this is the one that it looks like they're begging to take the Panthers to me. Joe, ever here, you want some plus money? Take it. I know they've been plus money all series long, but this is one that, for me, Joseph Woll's going to get the start for the Leafs, and this is going to be his first actual playoff start. He came in last time, played good. And he's played good this season for the Leafs in the spots that he's come in. And actually, in his young 11-game playoff NHL career, he's done well. He's got a 238 goals against average, a 924 save percentage, and I think he comes into this one, and the Leafs have a little bit of grit and fight. And in 2 of these the first 3 games of this series, they have outshot the Panthers. They come into with the hot goalie in Bobrovsky. The Leafs, on paper, better defensively, better in the face-off circle, better power play. And these numbers this is the way it happens. Now you're down 0-3. But for me, Leafs get this win here. You got to bring it back to Toronto. You don't want to totally disappoint the Leafs fans. They still hang around, even after all these beatdowns. Leafs win 1 here. comes back to Toronto, and then I think they get ousted there. So.
All right, Roddy,
you don't want to totally piss off the Leaf fans. So
no, you want to piss them off. You know how you piss them off? You win 2-1 because they've been stuck on 2 for some time, Rod Zawacky.
Right? Stuck on 2 for a while. So
stuck on 2.
I like the under here as well as a play, as the goals have definitely come out of premium, like we said in the video. The under's a pretty solid play in this one, because I think Wall's going to stand on his head. I think he steals, as I said on the morning show. Wall comes in, has a great start, kind of what Bobrovsky did. Comes in, really, he's got nothing to lose, really. He's the backup. He's like, wasn't expected to be in this position, so you come in a little bit more loosey-goosey, and I think Wall stands on his head, wins the first start tonight.
All right, there you go from Rod Zawacky. You know, Rod's with us. We like to ask him about hockey. Here's one here. Your boys are in action. Oilers looking for a bounce back here. Big favorites here, -182 here. Total sits 7.
And you know what I said on the morning show? I said this is going to be a close, tight game. It could go anybody's way. If the Knights do what they did in Game 3 and hold the Oilers out of the power play, Vegas could easily come in surprise here again. So I took the Vegas plus the goal and a half here on the morning show, as I think it's a 1-goal game. Either the Knights win this game probably outright, or the Oilers win it, but it's only a 1-goal win. So I think the best value here, instead of trying to lay that -182 with the Oilers, I'm going to go with the plus 1.5 with the Vegas Golden Knights.
There you go. Rod Zawacky here with that bonus here, as he always likes. Good to us here on the drive. But for the show record, Maple Leafs -115 here against the Panthers with the show pick. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. Of course, we got those 2 on the ice, 2 in the NBA. Got still a handful of games here from Major League Baseball still left to go, as we've got that ready to roll. We've got some games beginning here just in a few minutes as well. What do you have going over at the site?
And over at Pick Dodge Premium Time, I got my Wise Guy Wednesday triple. I got 2 plays in both of those NBA playoff games, and I got 1 NHL slap shot that I absolutely love. So head on over, scoop it up, grab that 3-pack, make it a winning night tonight, or go long term, grab that 3-day, grab that 7-day, grab that 30-day, and join me for the rest of the NHL playoffs, rest of the NBA playoffs, and hey, see how possible, less than a couple weeks away. So dive into that too.
That's right, guys. Get on board over at Pick Dogs Premium. Get on board with those long-term passes, as Rod has mentioned to you. Right, Wise Guy triple up there on the board as well. Long-term pass, 1-month pass up there. All of Rod's premium plays for 30 days. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. That'll get you covered right into the finals of these series, and all the MLB as well. All right, Rod, as always, great having you show. Continue this success. We'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday. But let everybody know what you got going on with that morning show, and of course the Puck Dogs video series, and of course the watch along coming on tonight.
Yeah, definitely join us for the morning show at 10:30 Eastern. Me, Mitch, and Chris definitely have a good time on that morning show. Tomorrow will just be me and Chris. Mitch is out, so me and Chris going solo there. And me and Chris going tonight. Tune in after the drive-through here at the start of the Leafs game. Me and Chris will do a little watch along with this Leafs game, so we'll get to see the Leafs in action, and we'll see if the Leafs winning and extending the series gets to the nice winner, or the Leafs go packing.
Well, check it out, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications, so when Rod and Chris are on with the watch along tonight, you're there with them. And make sure you bring in the comments, because I want to hear from you guys. All right, Rod, have a great night, and we'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday here on the drive-thru.
Definitely have yourself a wonderful night, Tony, and go Leafs, go. See everybody else in probably like 15 minutes.
That's right, 15 minutes for the watch along. Rod Zawacky here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Time for Dana Lane. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Prim. Great season this year in Major League Baseball, putting up good numbers. We'll bring Dana in right now. I think he's ready to roll. Dana Lane is ready to go. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go. Slim pickings tonight, but we got a game from Dana tonight here with this White Sox and Royals team. White Sox, $1.50 here on the road. This has gone up since early afternoon. Here, total sits at 9.5.
Yeah, and it's really strange, too, in this game. It opened up, I've seen $1.30 like really early, like overnight lines. But this has gone up, and if you follow, if your line services are telling you the truth, much of the money has come in on Kansas City. So that only means one thing. That means respected money is coming in on Chicago, and the bookmakers are willing to stand pat and also basically beg for royal money. So that's what we're getting in this situation where the bookmakers are taking a stance. And guys, if you don't think that they do that, they absolutely do. I got off the phone an hour and a half ago with one of the guys here in Vegas that I've been friends with for a long time, and they're like, yeah, absolutely, we take a stance on games. So this looks like certainly one of those instances. And, for me, with this, Chicago White Sox team, we know that they got off to a bad start, but we also know that baseball is about streaks. And what has Chicago been doing lately? Well, Chicago has hit a home run in 9 straight games. They've won 6 out of their last 9 games, and 3-1 against Tampa Bay and Minnesota. So Minnesota 19-17 on the year. One of those teams that is in first place, of course, and of course we know what Tampa has done. So that bodes well for Chicago. 28 of the last 58 runs have come via the home run. So the next logical step is, okay, let's see where Brad Keller is as far as giving up the long ball. We know that he's a guy that is okay, about average over his career, gives up less than a long ball a game. But we also remember in his last start against the Oakland A's, I'll say that again, gave up 2 homers in that game. He's also a guy that I like to bet on from time to time. I will not put my money behind Kansas City very many times, but I do like Brad Keller. I think in the right situation, he's a guy that I would back. I don't think this is the right situation. He is he pitches the contact, and that is not great when you're going up against a team that is feeling themselves as far as hitting the long ball. And oh, by the way, are 5th in the majors in hitting doubles. They have 71 doubles on the year, tied for 5th in that category. So I think we may be getting, if they lose tonight, they've lost 2 out of 3 to Kansas City, so this is out the window, Tony. But we may be seeing the beginning of at least an offensive resurgence from the White Sox. And I think Brad Keller is a guy that they're certainly going to put the ball in play against, whether or not they hit it at somebody or they continue to hit bombs and put balls in the gap. We'll see that tonight. But I like Chicago, even though we're giving up a little bit more than I would like. I thought this price was going to be a little bit less. I wanted to be in that 130 ballpark range, but we're certainly not going to give this or not going to get that in this game. So I'm going to go with Chicago. Also, on top of that, with Keller, a guy that gives up a ton of walks. So 21 walks in the last 24 innings. Hasn't gone into the 6th inning, I don't think, in his last 5 starts at least. So the combination of playing the team that hits bombs, gets balls in the gap, and you're against the pitcher that gives up a lot of walks, I think that's a poor combination. I'm going to go with Chicago tonight.
Yeah, that's there with Chicago. Yeah, the walks are terrible. 18% on the season for Mitch Keller. 18% of the at-bat appearances result in a walk, which is pretty bad. When your walk rate is higher than your strikeout rate, that's pretty bad. 15.8% for Keller on the strikeouts. He pitches the contact, about 18% on the walks. Interesting here when I'm looking at Lance Lynn. I know the ERA is rough. Keller's whip is higher than Lynn's. Keller's about 1.82, but Lynn is getting almost 29% strikeout rate. So you got to give some hope for Lynn to turn it around, especially with those strikeout numbers.
Hey, Tony, as far as Lance Lynn is concerned, I thought, and of course he just got his first win against Cincinnati. I thought he pitched better against Toronto and Tampa than he did against Cincinnati. You look at his last 3 starts, and this is, as you pointed out, this is not a guy that is not throwing the ball well. I think he's just, his location is not great. I watched his last start this morning, and just it's location. And if he can get that down, I mean, he's throwing the ball well. This is not a guy that's lost anything. I feel very confident with him. It's just you got to get the ball down in the strike zone. You got to get ahead of hitters. He has been very sporadic in doing both of those things. But when you need a win, it's good to see the Kansas City Royals come up on your schedule. In fact, I saw a stat today where the Royals have spent like 780 days under 500, which is the most in Major League Baseball since 2018. I cannot put my money behind a a team that's like that, an organization that's like that. Not even my Pirates are that bad. So I just, for the most part, will never have my money behind Kansas City.
All right, what was their home record? I mean, I saw it the other day. It was like 2-16. I think they won a couple to get to maybe 4 or 5-16. It's just horrible home mark for this Orioles team.
Well, they're 4-17 at home, and just to go, Oakland has been so bad, Tony. But right behind him has been Kansas City. Kansas City in that first game of the series against Chicago just got their 10th win of the season. Oakland still has not got there. But if it wasn't for the A's poor start, we'd be talking about Kansas City in the same manner. And by the way, too, I really like how the middle of that lineup. I know Grandal's not going to be playing tonight. He's going to be out. He's been battling that back injury. But when you talk about Andrew Vaughn and Robert in that 3-4 spot, these guys are swinging the bats pretty well. Hey, listen, Keller, a guy that I have backed in the past, he may be fantastic tonight. We see that when Miami goes to Arizona every time. All of a sudden, their pitchers turn into Cy Young. But I just think that this is a scenario that is ripe for a Chicago White Sox victory. And if the bookmakers are begging you to put money on the Royals, I'm going to stand right next to the bookmakers that seem to be doing pretty well from year to year.
They sure do. Dana here on the White Sox. Do your shopping here from 149 to 150. This one here will have a start time 7:40 Eastern time, right? Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Win for tonight's action. Dana Lane here doing fantastic work. You see it for Dana, 411 units of profit here for Major League Baseball for this year. Also tonight we've got about a handful of games still to go for Major League Baseball with a couple on the ice, 2 on the hardwood in playoffs. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, I wanted to get involved in this playoff game today. I love listening to Rod talk about Edmonton and Vegas. I know he's coming from an Edmonton standpoint, and I'm right with him on that too. I mean, listen, that top line is as good as anybody in hockey. It's the problem is that Edmonton has a real lack of depth, and that showed up in the last game as well. But on the flip side of that, I worry about Aiden Hill starting for Vegas. I worry about the Vegas goaltenders all year long, and they've done nothing but been successful. Aiden Hill was fantastic in Game 3, so it's just a matter of clogging up that neutral zone. We do have we are done with our games today because it's getaway day, and the last New York and Cincinnati went off the board, so that's it for today. But obviously, you can still get involved in that season package. I just moved that price down so you can get it for less than $100 a month. And the results speak for themselves. I think we're still on top of the standings in Major League Baseball and definitely intend on staying there.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Dana Lane over at Pick Dog Swim. Great results, as you can see here from Dana. Numbers have been fantastic. 1,340 units of profit here in Major League Baseball. All documented over at Pick Dog Swim. So if you go to Dana's handicapper page, you can verify those numbers right on his page right there. And we'll put them up there again. 1,340 is the number. So get on board with Dana. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Season passes up there as well. So get on board. Remember that 1 month all sports pass. You can get all of Dana's premium plays for 30 days. All his baseball, NBA, NHL playoffs as well. They take you into the finals. You can add second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Dana, as always, great having the show. Continue that success, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks for your time, Tony. I wish everybody all the best this week.
You got it. Dana Lane here on the drive-thru. Let's continue, guys. If you missed a pick, recap at the end of the show. Looks like we've got Wayne back signed in, so let's get Wayne in. He's got an NBA pick here for us. Let's bring him in right now. We'll go right to the graphic. Wayne, what's happening? We got Lakers and Warriors tonight.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Pick Dog family? I apologize. My phone died, so I had to come back in the sports book. But, yeah, man, I'm riding with the Warriors tonight. I'm taking them -7, man. I'm going with the experience. Warriors at home. Warriors actually been rebounding, doing good against the Lakers. And I think Steve Kerr will have a game plan for them tonight.
All right, we might have lost him again here, but we had Wayne here on the Warriors here laying the 7.5 here against the Lakers. That was the play here from Wayne. I don't know, maybe the phone issue there again with Wayne. But anyway, he likes that game there. And, of course, this one will have a start time 10 p.m. Eastern time over on TNT. Let's take a look at Wayne over at Pick Dogs Premium here as we'll wait here, see if we can get him on the board here. Wayne here, showing good results here in the NBA. You can see the 140 units of profit for 2023. So go ahead and get on board here with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dog Stream. You know, the long-term passes will serve you well. You can always get those one-day passes, but again, the long-term passes have the best value right now. Get all of Wayne's premium plays here. Let's say you want to get him for a 7-day pass. Try him up for 7 days. Get all of his premium plays for 7 days. And of course, includes all his NBA, NHL, MLB as well. Also, if you prefer, he's got a play of the day up there for the 1-day passes, play of the day from NHL, as well as MLB up there on the board from Wayne Scott over at Pick Dog Stream. Back with us, Wayne. You got
just trying to get it right.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. All right, like I was saying, sorry about that. I'm on play. I noticed it had came out the wall a little bit, but let's get to the pick. Straight to the pick. Warriors, man, I'm going with the experience. I think Steve Kerr will have a game plan for them. I do expect the Lakers to come out hard in this one, but at halftime, it'll be a tell and tale for me. If the Warriors are up pretty good at halftime, then I think the Lakers will kind of sit their players and get ready for Game 6. If they're down maybe 4, I think we'll be in a dogfight, but I definitely think the Warriors come out, hit their threes, and make it a series, man. We know what the Warriors do. We know the Warriors have been there before. Only people that's been there before really on that team is LeBron. We still got an unknown from them, so I got to see if they can get it done yet, and I'm going to put my money on the Warriors.
All right, we got Wayne here going to go on the Warriors, as we talked about earlier. He likes that Warriors team to get it done, so that will be the play. So, yeah, you know, the situation there with this Lakers team is that we've seen them in that Memphis series in Game 2 and 5, and then we saw the Lakers again in that Game 2 against Golden State. When they have a game in hand, they tend to let down.
Down again. Down again.
Yeah, I was just saying is they tend to let down when they're in a situation where they're up. I think we might have lost Wayne there. But anyway, guys, get on board with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dog Stream and get signed up to one of his long-term passes. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-through, guys. I think we just, let's see here. We might have lost Wayne there for a second. Having some issues trying to get him back, but I think he is off the chart here on this one right now. We don't have him aboard here. Let me see if I could see if we can bring him in. I don't. That'll roll. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-through, guys. It's time for my pick, and let me just go ahead and give you my pick here as we'll get into my board here. As we are still having some technical issues there with Wayne, but we'll go ahead and get into my play right now, and we'll get my pick up there for you guys right now as we're heading into the stretch here of the show. Let's go to my full odds here. We've got this game here between the Warriors here and the game we're coming here is going to be on here we go. The Padres and the Lakers are going head-to-head tonight, and we're going to go ahead and put up my pick up there for you right now. The play we're going to go up here is not with the Warriors. We've got to pull this just up a little bit here and get the right pick up for you. There, we're going Padres Twins under total of 8.5 runs tonight in this one. Of course, on the mound tonight, Seth Lugo here for the Padres. Lugo has put up some pretty good numbers. ERA 3.21, whip of 1.34. Getting the ground balls at 49%, limits his walks. Of course, Pablo Lopez put up some solid numbers. His whip is just 1.09 this year. He's dealing 31% strikeouts, good ground balls, limits the home run. Padres are trending under because of solid pitching. The Twins over their past 10 games have struggled at the plate. Just 191 batting average, and the bullpen in this period, both bullpens in outstanding form here over the past 10 games. We got the Twins in the low 2s, the Padres in the mid 2s. We're going to go Padres and Twins under 8.5 runs. And this one will have a start time here of 7:40 Eastern time. All right, guys, check out Pick Dog Stream. I got up there right now a 3-pack with baseball and 2 from the NBA up there. Get on board. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off the purchases. All right, let's get to the recap, and then it's time for Chris and Rod with their live show here with the watch along with that Leafs game tonight. Chris was on the Rays minus 113 against the Orioles. Mitch was on the Heat plus 3.5 against the Knicks. McMordie Mets minus 148 against the Reds. Wayne was on the Warriors, laid the 7.5 against the Lakers. Rod, Leafs minus 115 against the Panthers. I'll be Padres Twins under 8.5, the one I like the most. I'll go with Wayne here on that Warriors minus 7.5. As we talked about, the Warriors have been I think the Lakers have had their struggles with a game in their hand, right? Remember that Game 2 and 5 in Memphis, that Game 2 in Golden State. all losses by double digits with a game in their hand. And I think we're going to look at a game 6 here in this series. So I'll agree there with Wayne in that one. That's going to do it for this edition of the Drive Thru, guys. Make sure you tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers here from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Plays. So they'll get with their plays live for you here in prime time. Don't forget, it always gets started with the morning show, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You got Mitch, you got Rod Zawacky, you got Chris with that morning show. Remember the video series, Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Betting Tools Show. Also, we have Chris and Rod with the Puck Dogs video series. Ron Ramanelli's baseball breakdown, a pick from every game from Major League Baseball. Jay's Jam Session, NBA pick for you in the morning drop. And of course, he's live at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Mills with his prop videos. Mike Davis with his prize picks. And of course, his first 5 innings. Nick with his Nerfies, Nerfies up there as well. Mitch also with the Nerfies. And of course, Brad and Mills with their UFC show here on Saturday after the morning show. That's going to do it for our show. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew from today. Anyway, goodbye to you guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow on the Drive Thru, but don't go anywhere because Chris and Rod are coming up next with their watch along, Panthers and Maple Leafs watch along. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, set notifications. So when they push the live button, you're live with them for that watch along tonight in the NHL. That's going to do it, guys. Have a great afternoon. We'll